Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And no header today. We're just going to go straight in on a piece of breaking news. Slowly, step by step, things are turning our way. This is literally just breaking news, and it comes from the Equalities and Human Rights Commission, who just an hour ago released a statement with regards to single-sex spaces. And I'm just going to go straight in. We'll have a look at this. And the headline is, trans people can be legally banned from single-sex spaces in hospitals, sports clubs, shops and refuges if there is sufficiently good reason, rules equalities watchdog in victory for women's rights groups. And it's about time somebody showed some common sense and stood up, had a spine and a backbone. And it's a shame it's taken the Equalities Commission and not a politician, because we all know they're jellyfish. But the EHRC, public bodies and businesses can legally limit services to a single sex. So if you're a trans man and they say, sorry, you can't come in, you've got no recourse. You're banned. You're out. You ain't going in. The declaration by Equalities Watchdog today is a major boost for women's rights. It follows uncertainty over whether services are allowed to exclude trans people. And this was the problem. Without that clarity, a lot of people didn't want to be seen as phobes and ists. Didn't want to, oh God, can we stop them? Can we do should we? Can we? Oh, I don't know. And it was causing a lot of confusion and a lot of anxiety for people who would legitimately feel they shouldn't allow someone in, but were unsure of whether they couldn't allow them in. And now they know. The new guidance will have a huge ramifications for hospitals, retailers and hospitality. I'll go into the piece. It is perfectly legal for public bodies and businesses to limit services to a single sex, the Equalities Watchdog declared today in a boost for women's rights. It's our first battle. We've won a battle. We haven't won the war, but we have a victory. There has long been uncertainty over whether services such as refuges for female rape victims are allowed to exclude trans people who were born as a man. Today, the Equalities and Human Rights Commission, the EHRC, said that service providers wishing to limit services to a single sex are legally able to do so, provided the reasons are justified and proportionate. And that will cover anything you like it to be, because anything can be justified, and within reason, anything is proportionate. So effectively, without specifying it, they've just allowed it to happen for virtually every reason. There is no reason now for anyone to feel afraid in a female-only space. And also, it means that any sports club can say, no, you're a man, you can't play. The new guidance will have huge ramifications for hospitals, retailers, hospitality and sports clubs, which have faced difficult issues in recent years under pressure from the mad trans lobby. It makes it clear that it is legal for a gym to limit communal changing rooms to a single sex, as long as a gender-neutral changing room is also provided for trans people. You don't need a gender-neutral changing room. If they're male, they go in the male room. I don't see an issue here. What's the issue? Other services which can legally exclude trans people include rape counselling for women, women's refuges, and women's fitness classes. Toilets can also be legally limited to men and women, with separate gender-neutral facilities. Again, there is no gender-neutral. There's male and female. You cannot be gender-neutral. You can be male or you can be female. So not quite the 100% victory, but we are getting there. The key point is that the public services and businesses must be able to show they have taken the views of trans people into account. Yes, I've taken their view into account. They view themselves as a lady, but I view them as a man. So I'm banning them from the ladies' toilets. Baroness Faulkner, chairman of the EHRC, said, our mission at the EHRC is to protect the rights of everyone and ensure that people across Britain are treated fairly. Yes, and the important word there is fairly. And when you're cancelling women, that's not fair. There is no place for discrimination against anyone based on their sex or gender reassignment. Where rights between groups compete Our duty as an independent regulator is to help providers of services and others to balance the needs of different users in line with the law. Organisations are legally allowed to restrict services to a single sex in some circumstances, but they need help to navigate this sensitive area. No, they don't need help, they just need to use common sense. That is why we have published this guidance, to clarify the law and uphold everyone's rights. Maya Forstater, a beloved character within this channel, we've mentioned her several times in several videos recently. She's the executive director of the campaign group Sex Matters, said the guidance is a very positive step forward. It certainly is. It gives service providers clarity, and that it is lawful to provide services for men and women separately and to expect people to follow the rules. It also allows people who offer services, be it private or public, the ability to have the law on their side when they say no, rather than getting bullied by some trans who wants to access female services. They can say no, and the law's on my side, please leave. Stonewall has been telling organisations that they have to replace sex with gender identity and that anyone who disagrees is a bigot. Ha ha, not anymore. But the EHRC is going back to the Equality Act. The new guidance provides examples of how trans people can be included without undermining other people's dignity and privacy, for example with gender-neutral options, and says that everyone should be treated with respect. Ms. Forstater is spearheading the Respect My Sex campaign, which urges political parties to protect single-sex services and recognise sex, not gender identity, in their policies. And there's a difference, and it's a massive difference, and it's definitely the way to go. But a statement from Stonewall said, far from clarifying how the single-sex exemptions in the Equality Act should be used, the EHRC's latest non-statutory guidance is likely to create more confusion. No, it isn't. I'm the provider, I see you come in, you're a man in a dress, you want to use the ladies' toilets, I say no, because you're a man in a dress. Nothing confusing about that. You're a man in a dress who wants to access a rape crisis centre where there are vulnerable women. I tell you, no, because vulnerable women do not want to see a man, even if he's wearing a dress. I see you wanting to access a field of sport and play against women, and I say, no, that's unfair against women, because you're a man in a dress. So Stonewall are being disingenuous and lying and deliberately stirring the pot because they're not getting their way and they don't like to lose. You're losing this one, Stonewall. You're going to lose 99.9% of the public on this one. They say also, the examples appear to encourage blanket bans rather than the case-by-case decision-making. I don't see a problem with blanket bans. You blanket ban young people from driving. You blanket ban young people from drinking. You don't have a case-by-case study. If someone's 17, they can't go to a pub. If someone's 16, they can't drive a car. You don't have a one-to-one exclusion or allow policy. You have a blanket ban. Deal with it. The blanket ban applies across many, many laws. So, again, what are you saying here? Or is it you're just trying to push your agenda? The EHRC said its guidance will help service providers to make lawful decisions about any services they offer to women and men separately. It advises organisations such as hospitals, retailers, hospitality and sports clubs to put in place policies that are both legal and balance the needs of different groups. The guidance confirms that service providers wishing to limit services to a single sex are legally able to do so, provided the reasons are justified and proportionate. Again, so vague and bland, you can justify and proportionate anything. Under the Equality Act, services cannot be discriminated against someone because of the protected characteristics of sex or gender reassignment, but the Act includes exceptions which allow organisations lawfully to exclude, modify or limit access to certain groups in certain circumstances. In the case of separate or single-sex services, providers must show that providing the service differently is a proportionate means of achieving the legitimate aim. This could be for reasons of privacy, decency, to prevent trauma, or to ensure health and safety. For example, if a woman of a particular religion or belief will not use the local swimming pool at the same time as men, women-only swimming sessions could be provided, as well as mainly mixed sessions. Could we ask for a man-only session? Single-sex wards in hospitals and nursing homes would be fine if a woman might reasonably object to the presence of a man, or vice versa. If a group counselling session is provided for female victims of sexual assault, the organisers would be able to bar trans women to attend, as they judge that the clients who attend the group session are more likely to be traumatised by the presence of a person who is a biological male. I don't like the term biologically male. I like the term man. A leisure centre could introduce some female-only fitness classes, excluding trans women because of the degree of physical contact involved in such classes. In a gym with separate sex communal changing rooms, the guidance said there could be a concern about the safety and dignity of trans men changing in an open plan environment. The gym could therefore introduce an additional gender-neutral changing room with self-contained units, or it might not have the money to do so, and it could say, sorry, we don't have the facilities. Off you go. But yeah, it's a win. It's a win. It's the first win in a while. Let's hope it's not the last, but anyway, I'm going to come up and round this off. Yeah, so good news, finally. Some people are starting to see sense. They're starting to see that trans women are not women, and that you can't just mould yourself into being a woman just because you want to be, and that women need space. Women need women-only spaces. And so I congratulate this move, and I hope that there's many more, because it's just plainly wrong to put a man in a woman's-only space for no other reason than he wants to be there, effectively. And I wish we could lose the double speak, biologically male, man, trans woman, man, Anyway, that's good. We'll round that off there. If you like what you hear and see on this channel, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Ring the bell for notifications of future output. Leave a like, leave a comment, and until next time, stay safe, stay well, and goodbye.